Best views ever. Hey guys, good to see you again. So I'm in the Lake District and I'm heading towards Hawkshead right now. Last night I was at a campsite and I've paid for another night, so it's going to be a kind of to Hawkshead and back kind of walk. Taking it pretty easy. I'm actually supposed to be in Scotland, and as I was on the train, I planned out my walk. I was supposed to do the East Highland Way, and when I was on the train, my connecting train from Glasgow was cancelled, and I was about 10 minutes from Oxenholme at this point. So I was having a bit of a panic and thinking, what the hell am I going to do? I don't want to be stranded in Glasgow. There was another train that gets in at Fort William, where the trail starts, at 10 p.m. or 10:30, and I was thinking that's probably going to be cancelled as well, and I'll be waiting around for 5 hours. So I had to think fast. I was honestly having a bit of a panic attack. My heart was racing. I couldn't, I was shortness of breath. I couldn't breathe properly. I couldn't catch my breath because I was, heart was racing. I was panicking. It was like erratic kind of breathing, and I felt sick. I felt like I was going to throw up. So I was really panicking because I suffer with anxiety, and I've not had, a panic attack like that in a while. Well, I've been having them more recently, but I'll speak about why another time. It's work related. Not outwardly, it was all internal. I didn't look like I wasn't crying. I wasn't. I was just trying to remain composed so I wouldn't seem strange to anyone on the train. But inside, I felt sick. So I was like, what am I going to do? I need to think quick, could I get off at, because it did Oxenholme and then Carlisle and Lockerbie and then Glasgow, and I thought I could get off at Carlisle and walk the Cumbria Way from there, because I've done the Cumbria Way before from Ulverston to Carlisle, so northbound. I could do it southbound, and that was actually my plan before I decided to do the East Highland Way. But because I was in that mental state, and I know that the first day, the first stretch from Carlisle through Dalston to Caldbeck it's not a nice part of the trail, and everyone says that the end of the Cumbria Way, which ends in Carlisle, or depending on the start, if you start there, it's not nice. It's very industrial and urban, so I wasn't in the mood, I wasn't in the mental state to walk somewhere so industrial and urban, because Dalston isn't very nice. Caldbeck's lovely. Once you get to Caldbeck, you're good, it's beautiful. But Carlisle, Dalston, you know, it would have been a good half of the day or something at that point, because I would have got in at about 11 a.m. or something, maybe 10, but it was 9 at this point, and I was coming up to Oxenholme, so I thought I'll get off at Oxenholme and I'll decide if I'm going to go home or if I'll catch the train to Windermere, because it was only 20 minutes away from Oxenholme and there are regular trains. So even though my mind was like, go home, I just want to go home, I was really upset, I was panicking, I was like, no. Another part of me was like, no, don't go home, you're in the Lake District, you will, you know, once you compose yourself and feel a bit better, you'll regret going home, because you caught that train and now you're just going back. So I'm so glad I made that call for myself, because I'm so grounded and happy right now, and this is exactly what I needed and what I've needed for a good time. And yeah, so anyway, I am sorry if I'm rambling, I'm just just catching you up on everything. So I was texting Cameron, my boyfriend, and my mum as well, and I was just saying like, oh, my train's been cancelled and all other trains have been cancelled to Fort William, you know, from Glasgow really. So I'm having a bit of a panic attack. I'm going to get off Oxenholme, decide what I'm going to do. My mum texted me back and said, I'll drive up to Windermere and I'll meet you there and we'll have a nice day out. And honestly, I wanted to cry with just happiness. I was just so, that's exactly what I needed. I needed to see a familiar face. And as soon as she said that, and I was like, oh my God, only if you're sure. It's about an hour and a half drive from where she lives. So I said, yeah, Mum, of course, that'd be amazing. So that's exactly what I did, and I was feeling so much better. So when I got off at Oxenholme, there was a train to Windermere right there. So I got on it and it didn't leave for about 10 minutes. So I was sat on there, able to breathe and think, this is what I want to do. Calm down, you know, and everything like that. And as it was going to Windermere, the woman checking the train tickets was, I need to keep moving, I keep stopping, she came up to me and I said, well, actually, I don't have a ticket for this train, but I'm willing to pay for one, obviously. It was only about £6 or something, £7, maybe £4 with my rail card. And I said, I've actually got a ticket to Glasgow and then Glasgow to Fort William, but, you know, cancelled and everything. She was like, oh no. I showed her my ticket, you know, just so she knew I was telling the truth. And I was just like, it was a last minute decision to come on this train, because it was either go home or go to Windermere. and I love the lake, so I thought I'll stick in Windermere. She was really empathetic, and she was just like, oh God, no, I'm so sorry that's happened, but at least, you know, you're making the most of it in the lakes. I'm like, yeah, exactly. What a good plan B to have, because again, this is my happy place. And she didn't charge me. She said, I won't charge you because it's not your fault, and see if you can get a partial refund or a refund for your ticket. And I was like, yeah, I will, thank you so much. And after that really nice interaction with that lovely lady, and my mum saying she'll come up and we'll have a nice day out in Windermere, again, I wanted to just cry because I was so grateful and I was so happy, and I was out of that mindset. I've had trains be cancelled on me before and I've never reacted like that. I think I'm just feeling like quite fragile lately, and you know, considering I didn't want to be stranded in Scotland, and I've been planning this walk, and like I said, things, you know, plans change all the time, and I am used to that, and I usually deal with them really well, and I keep a level head, and I'm like, right, this is what I'm going to do. This time, obviously, I just explain what happened. So heading to Windermere, And I got some chocolates for my mum from a shop while she was driving up there. Speaking to the lady in the shop, and I said, my mum's driving up, you know, because this happened and that happened. So I'm meeting her here and we're going to go to like a nice cafe. And she recommended the Windermere Jetty Museum, and I hadn't heard of it before, surprisingly. And so she pointed me in the direction. I put it in on my maps on my phone and met my mum there, and it was beautiful. And you know, you would have seen the footage of that yesterday. Had some amazing food. Oh my, I can't describe how nice it was. I think I had a goat's cheese salad, and my mum had I forgot what the pasta was called, with I think it was like coconut puree, and everything was just so good, and like mint leaves and stuff, and everything was fresh, brilliant. So after that we drove to Ambleside, went to a craft fair. Mum bought a nice wooden serving board for a cheese or something. And yeah, so chilled there. And then it was getting a bit dark. It wasn't getting late because sunset's at 4:30 now, and it was about 3:30, so it was getting dark because it was cloudy. And Mum was like, right, so what do you want to do? You stay in? And I was like, yeah, you know what, I'll stay. I'm going to make the most of being here. I'll camp somewhere. My plan was to wild camp because, you know me, I do wild camping. I love wild camping, so I was considering that. And then she drove me to Hawkshead, and I haven't been to Hawkshead in recent years. I think I did as a kid, but not that I remember. So it's a nice new place for me to walk through and visit, because I do usually stick to the known places like Rydal, Ambleside, Grasmere, Windermere areas, and Keswick, which are all beautiful. So it's so nice to explore something different and new, and I've never been here before. So we came across this campsite that I'm staying at, and yeah, so I was pitched up next to a lake. People there were lovely, had a great night's sleep. Rained overnight, everything was dry inside my tent, of course. So I'm just having an amazing time, and now we're all caught up. My mum drove back. She texted me back when she got home safe. I'm just so grateful that she did that for me, because that was just so nice, and that's what helped to get me out of that state. And yeah, absolutely lovely, and I'm having such an amazing time. So I'm going to see what's there in Hawkshead. I'm going to grab some food. It's a Sunday, so shops probably won't be open or open for very long, but I'm just enjoying the walk. But anyway, I've been talking for about 10 minutes now. I'll just stop rambling and let you guys enjoy the views and the walk. Got an old barn here with some drop of water just fell on my camera. Only been walking for about 45 minutes and I'm already halfway to Hawkshead from the campsite. Walked just under 2 miles so far, so I'm making really good time. I've got about 4.5 hours of sunlight left. I don't mind doing night hiking. I've got my head torch, which I used last night when I was putting my tent up and walking about the campsite, so I've got spare batteries for that as well. I don't know if I mentioned that the reason that the trains got cancelled in Scotland is because of the major floods, so it's a good thing that I'm not there, because it's just going to be super wet up in Scotland at the minute, and apparently a bit snowy as well. And I love snow, but my feet were chilly last night, considering I was wearing heat halter socks and an extra pair over them, just my toes. So I was thinking, if it's going to be freezing cold up there, then I'm just so glad I'm here. I'm glad I'm here anyway, because this is incredible. All these views up here, and yeah, so you've got Windermere just over that way, you know, a good few miles over that way, over the lake, because I'm on the other side. You've got Ambleside straight up that way, and Skelwith Bridge is over there, just in front of those mountains, and I think they're the Langdales over there, and Grasmere, Rydal up way over that way, over those hills. Hawkshead in that direction, and Coniston's a bit further from Hawkshead as well, down there. So it's just going to be Hawkshead for today, and see what I want to do tomorrow, because after tomorrow I'm staying another night at the campsite. Like I said, after tomorrow I'll decide if I fancy staying another few nights just wild camping in the area, where I want to walk, if I want to walk back through Hawkshead to Coniston, or if I want to go to the Langdales, or if I want to go to Grasmere or Keswick, Windermere. So I can go anywhere, and it's nice to have that freedom. I love my trails, I really do, but it's so nice to have the freedom to just wing it and be like, what do I fancy going today? So I'll see if I want to weather dependent, mood dependent, if I want to go home tomorrow, or I probably won't. I think I'll stay a bit longer. I've got, you know, till Friday until I need to be back, because there are train strikes on at the weekend, and I need to be back for next week. It's midday and look how dark it is. This is what midday in the UK in late November looks like. It's not super dark obviously, but I feel like obviously in the summer the sun's right up there, but currently it's just over there. We've got east, west, and it's right in the middle just there. I've got 4 hours till sunset. I'm almost at Hawkshead. I'm about 20 minutes away, I think. Lovely houses around here. Hello. Hi. Hey guys. You're also very cute. Bye. It's a Sunday, so it's so quiet, but I've just been told that the Queen's Head's open, so I'm going to stop for some food and maybe a drink. So I just had a really lovely pizza at the Queen's Head. Dead cozy in there. I was sat in some nice armchairs with cushions and got really comfortable. I was only there for about maybe an hour. I had a pizza and a pint of IPA and it was lovely. So nice. And now it's nearly 3. Sunset's just after 4, so I've got about, I'd say, an hour and 15-20 minutes until sunset. I think that's about the time it took to get here, so just open this gate. I'm just doing a little circular route around the outside of Hawkshead. Just thought I'd check out the churchyard. My mum was here with my sister in the summer and she said have a nice stroll through the graveyard, and it's nice. It's really nice. It's a lovely little graveyard. So I did, and now I'm on this beautiful autumn path. Look at that, the orange. And I feel really nicely satisfied with that food. You know, when it's just like the perfect amount and it's exactly what you needed. I always get pizza when I go out. I always get a pizza and a pint. Kind of negates the walking I've done, the miles. But it's nice. Look at these gates here. What's over there? Probably just someone's land. That's cool. So this path leads back into Hawkshead. I came out up there and it just goes straight back round, and once I do I'll be heading back. So I just missed the rain as well, luckily. It started to rain just as I was going into the pub. Oh, Dolly's Orchard. Oh, that's really sweet. Community Orchard 2019. Continue to grow each year. Local heritage varieties. It's been created for the enjoyment of the community and all its visitors. Oh my god. I'd love to go in, but I've put myself on a time limit. I don't mind getting back if it's dark, but at the same time, a part of me is like, go now, so it's not too dark. I don't know. I'm just rambling on again. I'm just happy. I'm liking all this moss. If you know me, you know I love moss. And these leaves. Mulch and autumn leaves. It's beautiful. Look how red it is. So red. Like blood stained. Love it. The massacre of leaves. That's what autumn is. Beautiful houses around here. They've got to be, I can't even estimate a price. Expensive. Maybe with this housing crisis, probably $1 million for one of those, I reckon. A few years ago I probably would have said about 600k. Still a lot of money. Look at that, nice garden. Lovely sheep around, it's just beautiful. Got a little river here. Oh, it's so perfect up here, honestly. Like, you're not too far from the village, but you're away enough that you're away from all the busyness and the people. There's a river, there's views, there's animals, there's space between your neighbours, but you're in a nice little community. It's just, this is exactly what I want. It's so gorgeous, honestly. There's a sec, I can't even read this sign. That obviously said Hawkshead Village, because that's the way I'm going. Borrowdale Way, Borrowdale Grasmere, that way. Church, yep, just come from there. Yeah, so down here and back to the campsite. Look at the distant mountains over there, all the fells and everything. You can just about see them. Misty and cloudy. Must be wet up there. So atmospheric though. I love evenings like this, especially in autumn. It just makes it so, I can't describe the feeling. I'm kind of at a loss for words. Atmospheric. I've just said that. I'll use it again. It's nice autumn days, drizzly but not too wet and not too cold. My hand's a bit cold holding this camera, but honestly, the smells as well. Oh wow, the smells of the leaves. So nice. Where does this go then? Huge building over there. Oh my god, Tan How? No way. Right there on the Cumbria Way. Tan How. I'll visit there again at some point. This is the street my mum and my dad used to stay in the 90s. I don't know which building, but one of those up here. That's so cute. Bye Hawkshead, I'll be back. It's been lovely, a lovely short break. I think I only spent about 2 hours total. Well, I got there about 2 hours ago. Walked around before going into the pub. Spent about just over an hour in the pub and yeah, had a walk around just then. It's been so nice. The rain stopped now. It only kind of was a quick shower, but I am expecting a bit more rain tonight. It's all good though. Don't mind a bit of rain. There's another campsite here on a farm. Looks really nice, but I'm glad I chose the one where I am, right by a lake, more secluded. I've talked about this before in my Cumbria Way video, but I can just smell it now. The smell of farms. I love it. I don't know what it is. I know there's cows and sheep there. I don't know if it's either of them that I like, or both, or just the hay or the shit. I'm not sure, but I do love it. I do love the smell of farms. It's really nostalgic and comforting. Hello again. Hi guys. Hi. Oh, so cute. I think you guys smell really good. I don't know if that's a common opinion or if that's strange. Wow. Look at that. I wish I had a camera that picked it up a bit better. The rain's stopped. It stopped about 20 minutes ago. You can see all the clouds, all the rain clouds. It's so dramatic, just such a dramatic kind of sky and everything. But I've got a nice patch of blue above me. All over there, that's where I'm heading. So hopefully, obviously clouds move though, don't they? But I'm heading towards the blue for now. And I looked on the forecast and it's meant to rain, I think, maybe in about an hour, but that could be anywhere around me. It's not exact to this location. It's more like Ambleside area, which is over there in those clouds. So I just love, I'll zoom in on that now. Well, on my computer when I'm editing this, I mean, but look at those clouds, just, oh, I love them. Just coming through the fells like that. So bloody cool. Over there it's so dark and gloomy as well. Those clouds give off a different vibe. When you focus on an area for a while, it makes you feel like, you know, so it makes you feel different things. That sounds extremely obvious, but for example, if I focus on the area, I'm like, oh, it's gloomy, it makes me feel like adventurous and excited and anticipating rain or something. If I focus on that, it makes me feel, again, adventurous, very excited, and like I'm in like I'm in a very special place. Yeah, if that makes sense. I'm excited to get back to my tent and relax. I got a little bit of rosé from the co-op, so I'll have some of that. So nice. God, I'm so lucky to be here. I really am. I'm so glad it turned out this way. I mean, I love Scotland, but knowing how flooded it is at the minute, I'm so lucky to be here. Even if it's raining, even if it rains all night, I don't care. I crave the lakes constantly, so when I'm here, I try and appreciate it as much as I can so I don't take it for granted. Because if you take things for granted, you just kind of not really living in the moment when you're there, and you miss it more and you feel bad about not taking it for granted. I'm just waffling now, I am sorry. Anyway, I'm going to open this gate and get moving. I'm about nearly halfway back and I've got about half an hour of daylight. These tiny little tents. Oh, probably for a pet or something. Little garden just across the river there. little tent. Okay, I've been back for a few hours now. As you can see, it's pitch black and I'm keeping my voice down, even though I think I'm the only one at this campsite. Over there is they're the toilets facilities. I've just come from there, and it stopped raining now. And the stars are out and it looks amazing. I know for a fact that I'll turn my head torch off a second, but I know for a fact that this camera is not picking them up. There's no point in even trying, but I took a few pictures on my phone and I'll add them in now. But just as you're looking at these pictures, imagine more stars, brighter, clearer, because that's how I see them. Obviously my phone doesn't do them justice. Like when does it ever? I was saying that before. And I just want to show you what I've modified my tent. Okay, so this is my ground sheet, and you know, some people might argue that I should have put it underneath, but it's really dry under there because my tent's really taut, and the ground is made in a way that it's just my socks. I've got my pyjama pants on under my leggings as well, so they look very chunky. So because it was raining a few hours ago for about a good solid 2 hours, I thought I want to enjoy the view across the lake, and sit with my door open, with my mesh door zipped, but with my green door open like it is now. Well, my mesh door's open now actually, I should probably zip it in a sec. So I thought what I'm going to do is, I have got some spare like rope and string and stuff. I always bring it with me, and shoelaces and things. So I made this kind of like awning. So the bottom down there, I'll walk to it actually. The bottom here, as you can see, is I'll follow it down. It's too tight together. It's too tight together. I pegged it in because I ran out of tent pegs. I used them all for my tent, obviously. I used a twig, quite a strong twig to keep that in, and this one's tied to the tree up there, and just the one right next to, not far from my tent. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've just been sat with the door open, looking out. It stopped raining now. Stars are out. It's brilliant, and I don't think it's forecast to rain until midday tomorrow, so hopefully it doesn't overnight, but I'm going to keep that up. But yeah, so there's the lake. I'll zoom in a bit. It's Windermere, by the way, the lake. That's Ambleside over there. Windermere is actually, might be able to see it if I move down here, all the way down there. I can just about see the lights. That's Windermere. So you've got Windermere and Ambleside just across the Lake Windermere here. Got an awesome view. It's just such a good spot. So yeah, this pitch cost £19 per night, so that's 2 nights, and it's it's a National Trust campsite. It's called Low Ray campsite, and they've got camping pods and all sorts as well. But the lakeside pitches cost, I think, an extra £6 more or something like that, and I just thought, you know what, it's worth it. Because it really is. It's made such a difference, because I've just loved just staring from my tent. Just the lights bouncing off the lake with the kind of like streaks of light. It's amazing. I'll probably add in a picture now, a better one I've took on my phone. If I do take a better one, I can see planets. I think that's Jupiter up there. Again, the camera's not going to pick that up. Jupiter, no, I think Jupiter's over there. I think that was Mars, because that's really red. It could be Venus. I'll look on my phone. Just enjoying myself, really. It's about 7 o'clock at night. It was like 4:45 when I got back, and it's 7:23. So yeah, I've been back for about 2.5 hours. Had a bit of food, not too much, because I was still full from that pizza. I just had there was a beep then. That's probably That sounds like a smoke alarm. Where the hell is that coming from? It's quite distant. It's not near me. It's like at the other end of the campsite. Someone's probably set off the smoke alarm in one of the pods. If someone else is in one of the pods. What was I even saying? What was I even saying? Oh, it's stopped now. Yeah. So I've just had something to eat. Just I packed a bag of pea shoots and rocket, just like a salad bag. Had some of that, had a cheese string. God, it's creepy when you hear sounds at night. That could have been a duck, I think. So I'm in my tent. Let's turn the light on. Lights on there. Here's my tent. Here's my messy tent. I got some rosé. I'm enjoying some rosé as well. That's another reason I wanted to put this on and up, because I wanted to sit facing, there we go, the lake. Lift that up. Just going to the loo, and I don't want to think about this, but it feels like bloody Slenderman. Walking through the woods, a torchlight, and it's pitch black, and there's like no one else around. So creepy. So you can't see anything. I can't even see the bloody path. Hang on a second, where am I going? Jesus, that bloody thing scared me then. There we go, I realised I didn't show any of the facilities, so this is the washing up point. The light will come on now. I think it's a sensor light. Here we go. So that's all behind me. This is the washing up section, and a bin. And in here, if I just toilets, shower. Nice, it's very nice and warm in here, especially compared to out there. That noise you can hear is this, and that's the heater. I could just stay in here, I feel so much safer, and then once I walk out there I'm like, oh shit, I'm in the woods in the dark. It's fine. Anyway, yeah, so I'm just going to brush my teeth and all that stuff, wash this mug when I get back out there, and yeah, then go to sleep. It's about 9 o'clock. That's a guess actually, let me check. Oh, my torch is still on. Torchlight. Yeah, 9:30. There we go, 9:30. Oh, gonna brush my teeth and get some sleep. Get up tomorrow and head to Borrowdale. That's the plan. God, this is dead creepy. I know saying it out loud doesn't make it any easier. Maybe if I said, "Ooh, this is really cozy," it actually does make it feel a bit better. I don't know if I'm just talking complete shit right now. It's just me walking through the woods at this campsite to get to that toilet. It's only like a minute away, but still. Last night was alright because there were loads of other campers about. There were a few campers over there and a few down there, and now I think there might just be one, maybe two in some pods around. I'm not sure. I've seen a couple of lights on, but not recently. They're probably asleep. Anyway, I'm at my just packing away my tent. As you can see, even though it's a cloudy day, it's still a beautiful view across the lake. I'm grateful I've got a picnic bench here because it makes everything much easier. I can just lay it out on there instead of shoving everything into my bag in a little tent. So my hands are really cold. It's such a cold morning, but I've just been in the toilets down there warming up because they have a hand dryer and it was really nice and warm. So I warmed up my hands, my cold feet and everything. Dried my top that I wore yesterday, which was a little bit wet just on the chest area, so I can wear that. And yeah, so making really good time. I don't have to check out for about, well, I don't have to leave for about half an hour, but I'll be gone by then. I think this will only take me about 10-15 minutes. Better get a move on and then head to Borrowdale. All packed up and ready to go. As you can see, there's geese and there are people on boats down there. So what I'm gonna do, because I need to head to Borrowdale, and if I walked now without any breaks, I'd get there a few hours after dark, because it's not very close to just outside of Hawkshead where I am, and I'd have to pass a couple of mountain passes as well. So I'm thinking from Ambleside, get a bus to Keswick, and then decide if I'm getting the bus to Borrowdale or walking to Borrowdale, depending on the time and how rainy it is at that point, because I think it's meant to rain in the afternoon. So yeah, I'll just see what I feel like, see what happens. If I get a bus then walk, then I'll do that. If I walk then get a bus, and I'll do that. I'll get a bus either way, I'll do that. So yeah, just as long as I get to Borrowdale today, because obviously I've got that youth hostel. Anyway, I'm going to get a move on now because it's 11 o'clock. I've only got about 5 hours of sunlight. As you can see, it's not the brightest sunlight at the minute. That jet flying overhead just then was awesome. It was deafening. The audio obviously doesn't do it justice, neither does the camera, but just imagine peace and quiet like this, the odd car going past maybe, and you hear this like low rumble in the distance and you're like, oh, what's that? Is that a big truck coming down the road? And then it gets louder and you're like, that's coming from the sky. That's got to be like a jet or something, and it gets louder and louder, and all of a sudden I just whipped my phone out because sometimes my GoPro can be temperamental, and when I do a quick video, sometimes it just doesn't do it unless I turn it on and everything. So I got my phone out quickly, took a video of it. But wow, that was awesome. I heard a few fly overhead earlier when I was in the toilets brushing my teeth, and I'm like, oh, I'm missing them, but they do fly overhead over the Lake District quite often, so I knew I'd catch one. But maybe there'll be another, who knows. I'll try and get that as well. It's just such a cool feeling. You kind of, because of how loud it is, you feel it in your bones, and it just gets you all like giddy, and it makes your chest feel all fluttery. But yeah, look at this in this tree. People like to put coins in trees, don't they? Interesting. It's kind of freaky looking, actually. It makes me a little bit uncomfortable. Again, I had my phone to the ready because I could hear the distant rumble, and I luckily saw it just between the trees before I heard the sound come over me, because it's, you know, going faster than the sound. The sound kind of follows it. Once these cars have stopped, you can actually still hear the rumble. I don't know if it's picking up, but can you hear that? So exciting. It's just really cool because it's such a loud noise and it's such a cool plane, such a cool jet. If you actually check out the first video that I uploaded on this channel, the Windermere to Grasmere walk, I actually got a pretty good shot of one coming through the valleys just out of Grasmere. I think it's near Grasmere Common. I got like a slow-mo of it, and it's like a really nice picture. It's dead colourful, and obviously just keep in mind that in real life it looks way bigger because it actually came quite low. Another great thing about the lakes, you get stuff like this going on, flying overhead. Not all the time, but every now and then. I don't know when it happens, if it's seasonal or only a certain day of the week. I was here the other day with my mum, and that green signpost there, that's the end, the official end of the Eastern Hadrianic Way, a walk that I did with my brother last September, and that's also on my channel if you want to go check that out. Obviously very basic, but oh my god, I'm speaking really quietly because there's people outside the door trying to get in there. Look at this. Wow, what a view. I can decide, I can choose between top and bottom bunk as well. I'll give them both a go and see which one I'm feeling. Maybe top, that'd be nice. Whoa, look at that. I'm so glad that I'm not camping tonight. I love camping, but oh my god, it's freezing outside. It's so cold. just from the walk from the bus stop to here, like the 5-minute walk, my hands were numb and I was just, yeah, I was freezing. I was like, bloody hell, I couldn't sleep in this cold. I mean, I've done cold camps before and winter camps, but I don't know. And usually my equipment's fine, but it's, you know, it's not the most comfortable. So yeah, I can't believe I got this for 20 quid as well. That's insane. I'm gonna chill in here for a little and go down and grab a pizza. And there's a bar as well. I didn't think it had a bar because it didn't say anything about it on the website. So I'm so excited for that. So I had a veggie burger and I'm looking outside and it's obviously pitch black and I'm really tempted to go on a late night stroll. I say late night, it's just turned 8. It's not late at all. And I paid for another night, so I don't have to be up and out by 10 tomorrow. I can have a lie-in if I really want to. See what I feel like doing. But I feel like now it's stopped raining. Although, what is that noise? It sounds like wind, but it could be like a generator or something. I don't know, I want to chill in here, but I want to go out on a nighttime walk. I've got the head torch. I'm not going to go far. There's no signal here at all though. I've got a bit of Wi-Fi, but it only works for certain things like Google and Facebook and Instagram. It doesn't work for like Snapchat and banking or anything. I'll have to see if it works on maps and my hiker app, and I'll see. But yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna do. Maybe in about half an hour I'll head off and just have a little stroll around. Okay, I'm gonna go on a short walk. I've got my head torch. Ooh, this is creepy. River there, woods ahead. I'll only be like 10 minutes of that. They have a few of these lamb pods about. I went in when I was in Grasmere. They were cool. And I think from here it's just a path, just some trail. Don't know how far I'm gonna go. There's a gate here. Considering that it's the woods late at night, I'm not gonna go too far. I am already freaking myself out a little bit. Just down by the river. It's quite nice. There's a bridge. Not that you can see it on here, but there's the bridge, there's the river. The lights over there. I'll head a bit further down this road and turn back. I know you can't see much, it's not very exciting at the minute. I can see with my head torch quite well. Just gonna go over this bridge. I'm curious to see where this leads. I'm just near some nice little cottages at the minute. Footpath. Public footpath over private land. I think I'll do that tomorrow. I don't want to sort the gates out and potentially wake people again. It's only, well, it's 9 o'clock now. But you know, just because it's so dark, it feels a lot later than it is. I mean, obviously 9 o'clock is like night time, late evening. So it's late-ish, but it's not late, is it? I don't even know what time I'm gonna head to bed tonight. It's not like, you know, when I'm camping, either while camping or at a campsite where I have to think I have to be packed up by a certain time. Because I'm staying another night now, so if I wanted to have a lie-in I can, but I don't like lying in too late. My latest is about 10 AM. Not like how I used to be back at uni. My lie-ins on a day off would be like 3 PM, which is absolutely ridiculous. Looking back now, it's like there's no way I can do that. There's no way I can forgive myself for losing that much of a day. God, how much things have changed, honestly. Anyway, again, I'm so sorry this isn't very exciting. You've just got the sound of my voice right now and the odd lit up tree and wall and rock and the distant lights, but there's the hostel sign and they're the lights of the youth hostel. I'm just heading back now. I'm gonna take a nice easy stroll. I think I'm enjoying this. I'm usually a lot braver than this, but I don't want to venture too far because it's so dark around outside of these places, so I'm a little bit hesitant. But I think there's a car park. Yeah, I'm usually a bit braver than this, but I think because of how cold it is, it's kind of making me just want to get back as well. Like my hand that's holding this camera right now is completely numb. I can't feel it because of the cold. This was the path that I was on for a few minutes last night when I got freaked out just further down here. These are all the land pods that Borrowdale Youth Hostel have. I think the one in Grasmere only had 2. But yeah, they're really cool, so if anyone fancies staying at a land pod, they're, yeah, awesome. They feel a bit like a war shelter inside, like an army barracks kind of style thing. Got electricity because of solar panels. Look at this. What a cute little spot. Oh, this is so sweet. That river as well. Yeah, so my plan is just to, I'm kind of gonna have an easy day walk, I think. Seatoller and Seathwaite is further down this path a few miles. So that's what I'm going to do. I think it's just some nice valley walking. I can see a road further ahead down there. So I'm just going to see where this takes me, then head back whenever I feel like it. And I was told by a lady who works at the hostel that if I come back on the high path through Johnny's Wood, which is just up there, then I might get some signal, because I've had no signal. There's Wi-Fi there, but it only works for like sending messages on Facebook Messenger and Instagram, but you can't call, you can't text, obviously no signal. You can't even go on any websites, which is strange, because I was thinking of this is tricky. I was thinking of booking another night. Last night I had to message Cameron and say, can you get on the website? These are my details, my login info, and book me another night. And yeah, he did. So I'm staying tonight. I'm thinking maybe tomorrow night as well. Bloody hell. Good job I didn't come here at night. I wouldn't have bloody done it. Oh my god. No way. Look at this. That is awesome. Love that. This bit looks a bit tricky. There we go. That was fun. And now I think that's where I've just come from. Now I think up here. Also, that's all fenced off. It looks like I'm gonna have to go down that way. It's a bit of a scramble, but if I put everything in, if I put this camera in my pocket and maybe chuck my water bottle down, I should be able to do it fine. Well, I did it. So now, just through here, fells and valleys down there. This is exactly the kind of path that I wanted to be on today. I didn't know what to expect coming this way because I hadn't been on this path before, and yeah, I just like it. You know, it's a nice kind of high up level. You've got awesome views, you've got a river. It's nice, easy level walking so far. I mean, there was that scramble which was really fun. Further ahead it might be a bit more undulating, but I'm really looking forward to it. Even if it does get difficult, you can't have it easy all the time, can you? It's just a nice little break. The air just feels amazing. I'm so grateful that it's dry at the minute as well. I recognise this place. Me and my brother Sam, last year we came from that direction. We were walking this way, and I remember that bus stop because we had a little rest there, we had a little break, and up there is Hawkshead and Hawkshead Pass. That's in one of my videos. It's the one with the two bothies. It was Dub's Hut and Warnscale Head bothy. And this was on the first day, so we'd just come from Keswick that day. Well, we'd come from home to Windermere to Keswick, and then walked from Keswick over the Cat Bells, down into Borrowdale Valley, and not where I've just been, but along a different path nearer the road, and come up here and went that way. So now I've just got to decide which direction I want to go in, if I want to continue up that way. I know it's very steep, or maybe check out another little valley. I think there's another one round here, another little village. I've just seen this lost dog sign, last seen at the top of Haystacks, which is all the way up there. That's so sad. I hope they were found. Another thing I remember, me and my brother, we pointed out this house because it looked really cool when the other shutter was open. Big windows, a nice garden there. It's a cute little village. I think I know what I'm going to do. So it says Hawkshead 1 mile. Bear in mind that's all uphill, which, you know, I don't mind, but I think today I'll head this way. I'm looking at my maps and you can see it goes to high ground. So I'm on a quest for signal. I'll head up here. Once I get, if I do get signal, I can decide what I want to do tomorrow as well. There's a bus down there that's just pulled into Seatoller. That would be going back to Keswick, because the bus that I got yesterday would have carried on here. That smells amazing. The smell of sawn wood, just, oh, one of my favourites. And look, the sun's kind of catching one of the fells up there. It looks gorgeous. And then to the other side you've got these awesome clouds coming over. Amazing views. And these trees smell so good too. It smells like Christmas trees. I was walking past those logs and thinking, oh, it smells like Christmas. And it's these pine trees. They just, oh wow. There you go, have a sniff. Oh god, it's such a good smell. Anyway. So that was a really interesting experience. I've just come up past that gate that you can't see anymore, and there was a man there in a red National Trust uniform and a jacket, and he had his van there, so he'd driven up there, and he had his dog in the back of the van, and he was replacing the gate, so because it was all rotten and stuff, so he was just replacing it with a brand new one. So I was the first one to use that gate as I passed through it. And you know, I was speaking to him and said, oh, what is it you're doing? And he told me, and then he went, actually, you couldn't give me a hand with my tools, could you? And I was like, yeah, sure. He's like, I've just broken my finger. So I was like, oh god, yeah, of course I'll give you a hand. So I was helping him carry his tools back to his van, back and forth, you know, like big wrenches, power drills and all that stuff, old nuts and bolts, and he carried the old gate out, and I helped the new gate open. I did offer to carry, but he was like, no, it's fine. And his finger had kind of completely split open, and he said he can't bend it, he thinks it's broken. So I was like, where's the nearest hospital? And he said Keswick, but he doesn't think the x-ray department operates in the afternoon or something, so he might have to go to Carlisle, which is a bit of a distance away. For walking, you're talking days. For driving, a couple hours. So he's got bandages. He's bandaging his finger up, and his dog Daisy was in the back of the car, just like watching. They're cute. So I was just, you know, I wasn't holding him up or anything, but I was asking him. I said to him, sorry, that he's so lucky to have the job he has, because this is where you work, you know, all this is this kind of area, and it's amazing. What I would give to have a job here. Oh, there's a robin there, there's a robin. Can't zoom in anymore. Hello. And he said, well, he was really lucky when he got the job. He was 16 years old, he'd just dropped out of school. His only qualification was the Duke of Edinburgh Award, and he volunteered with the National Trust, and he was given a job at 16, a paid job. One of the landowners employed him through the National Trust, and he was given a house at 18 by the National Trust. I was gobsmacked. I said, well, I'm assuming they don't do that anymore. I said, no, the process is not like that, you know. Nowadays we get hundreds of applicants, and we have to sift through them with the correct qualifications. And I said, well, I didn't do the Duke of Edinburgh because I had tonsillitis at the time when I was in school. God, I had tonsillitis like all the time. I've got them out now, and I said, and I've got a degree in fine art, which isn't exactly outdoorsy, but you know, it's, you know, this stuff. I wasn't like trying to get a job off him, but I was just, you know, getting used to kind of selling my experience. And I was like, well, I do this for fun, you know, so I'll for sure do it as a job, you know, just anything. I can fix gates, I can, all that stuff, I can guide people, anything, whatever the National Trust does, just as long as it's somewhere like here, which, you know, it probably will be. God, I'd do it. I'd love that as a job, I really would. It's worth breaking the odd finger for it, I reckon. So yeah, that was interesting. Hope he gets to the hospital and gets it sorted out and seen to. Oh, sun's up now, boiling. Look at that. How gorgeous is this? It's so warm in the sun right now, and because I've been walking. It's the end of November and I'm sweating on the mountains. So you can see just there, I'll zoom in on my computer now, is Hawkshead Pass, that's the road. And I'm not sure if, well, you can't see it from here, but it goes, well, I can see some of it there, proper steep over that mound, and it's steeper from there. So I'm just seeing where this path takes me. I'm keeping an eye on my phone as well. It's just like breathtaking. I'm so lucky to do this and be able to do this. Honestly, I really am. If you do this stuff and you don't recognise that you're lucky, then you're taking it for granted. Hey guys, just passing through, don't be afraid. You were quite brave, you let me get quite close to you. Oh god, there's Hawkshead Pass, or a part of it. Like I said, goes behind there, goes even higher, and I think that's snow up there, where you can see clouds. There's clouds and there's snow on the actual mountain. There's not a great deal of it, but it's snow. Hey you. Funny sheep. Oh, I think this is the summit. High Dote. It doesn't say how high this actually is, but I'll look online and I'll put it on the screen. So yeah, I'm going to take a nice little break here. Wow, look at this panoramic view. So of course you've got Derwentwater just peeking through there, and Keswick, and you see all these fells over here, just incredible. I'll name them in a second. And through that valley there is actually the part of the Cumbria Way. So let me think where I would have gone for that. Oh, of course. So I would have been coming this way out the valley. Oh my god, I know exactly what that is. That's the these must be the Langdales over here or over there. I'll have to bloody look, because that valley walk was around the Langdales. Stake Pass is on the other side, you know, a few fells over that way. Really steep climb. Again, I've got that video on my channel as well, the Cumbria Way, the full video, and broken down day by day. So, oh, this is amazing, just kind of seeing where I've been before and everything. You see a path and a bridge down there. I'll have a look and see where that takes me, because I might be interested in going that way. I won't descend this way. I'll make my way down to that path where there's a person walking there now. Wow, this is amazing. I'm in such an amazing location right now. I could just keep spinning and there'd be views and views for days. This is actually just such an incredible viewpoint, this panoramic view. And there's not many people up here. I've not seen after the man fixing the gate, I've not seen a single person other than the person on that path by that bridge. Oh, can't get over this. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna sit and have a little bite to eat because I've only had half a mince pie and a Coca naked bar. So yeah, I'm gonna have a little bit to eat. And I can just make out there, again I'll zoom in on here, I'm not sure how great the quality will be though. That's the start of Honister Slate Mine, so when you go up the pass there, on that path, there's a slate mine, it's got a cafe. Wow. This is incredible. Hello, you were just walking up to me then? Oh my god. If I stay really still and quiet. Oh my god. I don't want to move. Hey. There you go. You're off now. That was a brave sheep. That was amazing. I've never had one like willingly walk up to me that close before. Usually like really scared. That sounded like a bird, mate. Oh my god. So lucky, you guys. I know you get shit weather sometimes, but you look at these views, this location, can't get a better place. So I was up there for quite a while, so I had a nice sit down. The sun's come out, as you can see. It's really nice and warm. My hands started to get cold and numb, but now I'm moving, I'm feeling a bit better. I got signal up there, so I gave Cameron a call, went online a little bit. I booked my train for tomorrow. I have been considering staying another night at the hostel, but I feel like because we're getting closer to the weekend with the strikes, and that would mean coming back Friday. If anything happened on the Friday to trains, then I'm stuck, I'm stranded. So I decided, you know what, I'll head back tomorrow, book the train tickets, and I chose tomorrow because for some reason the tickets were really cheap with a rail card. I paid, I think, £8, and every other day and every other time, this was at 6 PM as well, so a good time to get back, and every other day after that and every other time was like 20, 30, 40 quid. So yeah, so I thought, oh, I'll get the cheapest ticket while I can. And yeah, so it's what time is it now? Just gone 3. Got an hour and a bit of sunlight. I reckon it'll be fine, because it took me about an hour to get here, actually. Maybe an hour and 10 minutes or something like that. Just walking through all these sheep again. Hello. You can hear all the cars come down Honister Pass down there. I know you can't really see it, I'm sorry, but there must be a cattle grid, because I can hear them every time they go over it. Hey sheep. Right, it's me again. Right, so from this path I need to think of how to join that one. I could walk back the same way I came, that's fine, but I'm thinking of maybe coming round here. Anyway, I'll stop recording for now, I'll put this away and I'll check my map on my phone. That's where I just was, where that little tree is. Heading back this way. You can see the sunlight on the fells over there. This is golden hour now, so absolutely beautiful. So glad I've got one clear day at least on this journey, so I can see nice golden sunlight, and I was kind of basking in it as well. It was over there where I was about 20 minutes ago. It was gorgeous and it was so warm as well. It's a bit cooler in this shade, as you can imagine. Look at that. And all that. God, it's so gorgeous. Bloody love the lakes, as you can tell. That's the bridge that I could see from where I was, up there. Just can't get over these views. I could see that little walled in thing from where I was as well. I'm just zooming on it if I can. I was wondering what it is. Probably it's keeping animals, but it's all crumbled and overgrown now, so I wonder what kind of, when they used that, what year that was, how many years ago. I love to think about that sort of stuff when walking through places like this, like when you see the old walls and the old structures and the ruins, and it's just like, oh, I just want to flash back in time for a moment and just see what that was like, what it was like in the prime, like the kind of people who built it, who used it, what they wore, what they looked like. I'm so curious, but it's something that obviously I'll never know. I'll never be able to flash back in time for a moment. But you know, that's where imagination comes in. Yeah, I've got about an hour of daylight left. There we go, take a shot guys, I've said it, got an hour of daylight left. And again, like I've always said, I don't mind night hiking, but if I can get back before dark or when it's just getting dark, then I'd rather do that. I know that I'll be starving for something warm when I get back. They sell pizzas, mac and cheese, veggie burgers, chicken burgers. I had a veggie burger last night. It was nice. The actual like veggie corn chicken breast itself was nice. Bread was a bit dry, and the chips were lovely though. The chips were good, and yeah, unseasoned though. But you know, I'm not complaining. It's fine. Yeah, so I've got some stuff as well. I've got some noodles and some grains. When I get back, I'll decide whether I want mac and cheese or my noodles, because I don't know which one I prefer at the minute. Mac and cheese sounds awesome, but so do noodles. Yeah, here we go. I'm rambling again. Wow, look at the sky. Oh, this is amazing. Absolutely incredible. I'm just so happy. Really, really happy. Love them clouds. Lovely flooded path. A nice little bridge. This is the slipperiest bridge I've ever walked across. I stepped on it and luckily had a hand free to hold on to the wood, because that is like proper just algae or whatever on top. It was so slippery. It's like ice. Taking everything in as usual. Everything, the sky, because I won't see a sky like that in the lakes for, well, I don't know how long, because tomorrow it's not going to be like that. I don't know when I'll be back. I've said to myself maybe December, but I've got a lot going on in December, so probably not. And obviously Christmas, and oh, do I go up there or do I go down there? Need to check my map. Be right back. It's this way. Not up there, that doesn't lead anywhere. Well, it leads, I think, to the top of the woods, but there's a big scramble, it says. It shows on my map, so yeah, head down here. This is quite fun actually, this is a nice gradient. It's not too steep, but I can't walk slow on it. It's one of them where if you move fast, you can't stop moving fast, if that makes any sense. I love autumn, even though it's kind of verging on winter now. I'm trying to be in the moment, but I'm like, oh, I'm looking forward to this, I'm looking forward to that, which is always, you know, good for mental health and everything. But I'm also like, right, well, I've got to look forward to where I am now. I've got to appreciate this, which I am. Oh wow, the sky. Don't we just love skies like that? The clouds like dappled and patterned like cotton wool balls or something. Oh, wow, look at that. That's nice. Little path down to the river, a bridge, and then a little waterfall, and I'm assuming the path takes you back up to that road that I was just not the road, back up to the path that I was just on, or you could go that way up. That's nice, cute little bridge, very hidden in the middle of nowhere. I'll have to visit there sometime whenever I'm back here, which I will be coming back. Don't know when, but I might make it a thing every November to do the youth hostel stay, because look, you get 25% off, which is great because the prices are low in the winter, late autumn anyway. So yeah, so like I said, it's the end of November, 22nd of November I believe, and I don't know when the winter thing starts, the 25% off, but I stayed here last night, which is the 21st, so I'll know next year if they're doing this again. I think it's only certain hostels. I know it's the ones that came up in the lakes is only 2, so there's this one, the Borrowdale Youth Hostel, and Hollyhow in Coniston, that are participating in the 25% off. I only paid £21.75 per night for a private room. It was supposed to be 29 before the 25% discount, and even if you're under 26, it says online you get 5% off with any booking throughout the year. 5% off if you're under 26. Every time you come to a youth hostel though, you have to bring photo ID. It's understandable for if you get the 5% off deal, but I think you have to do it even if you don't do that. I've forgotten the reason why. I think it's just to establish identity, really. So if you do come to youth hostels, bring photo ID, driver's license, passport, whatever, provisional license like I have. So yeah, don't forget that, otherwise they might not allow you to stay. So yeah, I might make it a thing every autumn/winter to check the yha.org.com.org, one of those, and check and see if they've got any deals going on. 21 quid for a private room at the youth hostel is like, that's brilliant. That's such a low price, especially considering I was about to pay 30 before I saw the deal. I've not been paid to promote this or anything. I just think it's really cool and other people should look into it. But I think this year, this video is not going to be up until next year because I've got a whole backlog to upload, probably summer, so maybe people can get planning from then. But I think the latest you can book for the winter deal is 5th of December. I think it was that, but I think you can book up until the 23rd. So if you book before the 5th, but your booking can be the latest 23rd, I think that's what it said. Don't take my word for it, look online. But yeah, considering it's like a nice cheap getaway, and if you don't fancy camping, or if the weather's too bad to camp, like it has been this time around, excluding today. Yesterday though, I'm so glad that I was somewhere with a roof, because it was like, I went out for that little walk, but oh my god, it was freezing. It was like early January kind of temperatures, definitely below 0. Couldn't feel my hands after about 5 minutes, or my face. So I think camping in that would have been uncomfortable. I would have gotten some sleep because, like I said, I've done it before, I've done that before. Would have been uncomfortable though, and I just fancied comfort, especially given the tried to get it with my foot, especially given the last few days and everything. Last month with work, I don't know if I want to talk about that, to be honest. Basically, I tried to unionise and I got in a lot of trouble for it, which I know they can't legally do, but they got me for something else, and I'm not going to go further into it. Maybe one day. It's still a little bit annoying. It's still a bit raw, to be honest, but anyway, I'm here to enjoy this, and that's what I'm doing. You know what, I think I will talk about it because it's kind of weighing on my mind now, and I feel like I need to talk about it, about what did happen at work. In one of my videos that I'm going to be uploading, I talk about that I was spiked on the weekend at the very start of October. I believe it was the 1st of October. I was on a night out with my partner's family, and I was spiked because I only had a couple of glasses of wine and I was throwing up. And when I woke up in the morning, you know, like, my partner stayed up all night to make sure that I was okay and on my side, and water and everything. I woke up and I was definitely drugged, because I was not, like, my head was spinning. I was like, I couldn't keep food down, I couldn't keep water down. I felt like I was going to black out. I refused to go to hospital because I hate hospitals. The last time that I was in A&E with my partner, we were waiting, I think, nearly 13 hours, and that was for something quite serious. So, and I thought, I've got work this morning. My manager knew that I was out last night. She's going to think I'm just pulling a sickie. So I convinced my partner to drive me into work. I was there for an hour before my colleagues pretty much sent me home. Said, you're not well, you need to go lie down. I was loopy, I was like, my head was all over the place. I couldn't stop talking, but it was about nonsense. I wasn't making sense, and I was like, oh, okay, right, fine. Because initially I was refusing. I was like, no, I'm fine, I'm at work now, I can work. So, but they ended up sending me home after an hour. My manager wasn't around. She wasn't the one who sent me home. I think she was in the cash office or something like that. So I went home, called my manager when I did get home, like an hour or so later. I called her and I explained, and I said, look, this is what happened. They all said that, you know, like, I need to get home and rest. So I did, and I'm sorry. I did try it, you know, I came and I didn't want to call in sick and let everyone down. She seemed fine with it at the time, and I had a week off after that, and that's where I did that walk where I talked about it. After that week off and I got back in, they took me to the office and suspended me. And they suspended me because I didn't get a manager's permission, and they didn't believe me. They didn't believe that I was spiked. So they suspended me, and that was the most stressful week of my life. I was crying every night. I'm sorry, I thought I'd got over this. Anyway, and apparently during my suspension, so I wasn't allowed to talk to any of my colleagues because of the suspension or something, and I didn't. But after my suspension, my colleagues told me that while I was off, my manager was union busting, so she took them up to the office and started intimidating them and grilling them and saying, are you all in a union? You, like, you know, basically trying to talk them out of joining a union, saying, what have you even got to strike about? Why are you going to go on strike? And laughing at them, and just basically yell, like, I don't know if she was yelling at them, but from the way that my colleagues were telling it, they were so shaken from it. They were messaging my partner, who also works there. It's in Crewe, so it's showrooms, and I was working there for 10 months, and I got back after my suspension, and they dismissed me because they said it doesn't add up. That's what they said. And everyone, including myself, believes that they did that because in the weeks leading up to my suspension and my dismissal, so in the September, I was unionising my colleagues. So I was telling everyone, look, our pay needs to be better, and they're not going to raise it. We need to get either bonuses or commission for the work we're doing, because we're designing kitchens, bathrooms and bedrooms, and we don't get any reward for it. And the amount of stuff we put up with, and abuse from customers and from the other people on other departments. So all that stuff, loads of other stuff, and everyone, they were willing to unionise, and we were all talking about it, and we were even motioning for a strike. And then this happened. So that's kind of dissolved, because that's exactly what they wanted to do. Now I'm out of a job because of that, and they got me under gross misconduct for falsifying absence, even though I turned up to work. And refused to leave, because my colleagues thought it would be best for me to get some rest instead. And I didn't see the manager while I was there, and I wasn't in the right mind to even, I wasn't in the right, headspace. And basically, I got no empathy. I got no, I'm gonna get moving while I'm talking about this. I had no empathy in the dismissal interview. My partner, who, as I said, also worked there, he joined me, but he wasn't allowed to say anything. He could just be there for support, which he did support me. And the man conducting my interview, it wasn't the initial manager who suspended me, it was a different one, because it has to be for legal reasons or something. He was awful. He was grilling us. He was making me feel awful about it. He was just straight out saying he didn't believe me. I had to try and convince these people that I was spiked, something that I thought I'd never have to do. It's just so stupid, really. If anything, victim blaming, I don't know, but I had to relive. They were asking for the events of that night in detail, so I had to relive some weird men following me. The bits that I do remember, I was safe in the end. Nothing happened, because I found the people who went there with Cameron's parents, because we kind of split off for a bit, and that's when it happened. So I had to relive, and I said, look, I only remember fragments. And he said he doesn't believe me because it doesn't add up. And I said, maybe it doesn't add up because all I remember is fragments. I'm trying my best. It's a stressful, traumatising night, and it's the worst I've ever felt. And he made me relive it. And he called me a liar. Anyway, sorry. I just kind of had to get this off my chest. I don't know if I'm going to even include this in here. I didn't think talking about it again it made me so upset. But yeah, anyway, just to wrap things up, my partner Cameron, he handed in his notice because he was so angry at them. He's got a job now, a much better paying job at another kitchen design job, and it just seems better because there's actually bonuses and rewards and commission as well as better pay. So really happy for him. Can't do anything legally about it. I can't claim unfair dismissal because I was there for 10 months and they need you to be there for 2 years. What difference does that make? If you were unfairly dismissed, you were unfairly dismissed. And because I was there for 10 months, the union won't help me that I was a part of, and this all happened because I wanted to unionise. And the man I spoke to, the rep for the crew area, he was so rude. He was basically saying, look, you only joined the union this time before an issue had arisen to access our legal department. You need to be a part of the union for at least a month before any work issues arise. And I was like, okay, I didn't know that, but okay, right, thanks very much. But again, there was no empathy. There was no I'm sorry, nothing. He was just so abrupt, as has everyone been during this. Everyone except friends, family, my co-workers. All my co-workers know why they dismissed me, and they've been telling everyone else at work about how unfair it is, so everyone understands, but there's absolutely nothing that I can do. Anyway, it's still so raw, as you can tell. It's just big corporations. This is how they get rid of people. They know the rules, they know the laws, and they know how they can get away with it. But it's absolutely disgusting what they've done and how they've done it. And it was the trade manager he was the one, the trade manager, who dismissed me. And he said it because I asked, I said, who decided? Was it you or anyone in HR, PR? And he said it was me. So it was his sole decision. I'm going to stop because this isn't what I'm here for. I just needed to get that off my chest, and I feel like I needed to tell people, because I've had people come to me with stories of their experience with BU, whether it's showrooms like myself or not, saying, yeah, they were awful and this is how they got rid of me and all that stuff. And it's like, do they not know that they're messing up people's lives? This is right before Christmas. I'm saving for a house, which now I have to use my savings to pay for things, not including this. I've paid for this trip from my craft fair early this month, which went really well, and my Etsy sales. So yeah, right before Christmas. I do admit that I should have got a manager, but really that's why they got me. Because I didn't get a manager, but we were never told. Everyone I worked with said they didn't even know they had to do that. As long as your colleagues know and you call in later when you got back, which people have done, and they've never got caught for it, but I think we all know why they did what they did. It was because they didn't want us to strike. So anyway, other people have handed in the notice as well, so at least showrooms are suffering, not the people but the manager. I thought I'd quickly interject as well while I was on the topic that I had witness statements as well from that night to back me up, but they barely referred to them and didn't consider it evidence. I made the most, or I think second to most, sales that month. I think I made over 23 or 26k in 3 weeks for them. Never had a complaint, never had an absence, never been told off by a manager, and I loved the job, and I really did. So that's why it's so upsetting, and that's why it's not easy to get over, because of how much I actually really love the job, because of my co-workers, because some of, obviously got some difficult customers as everywhere, but some of them were so lovely and like a pleasure to deal with. Yeah, the actual job itself, designing kitchens, bathrooms and bedrooms, leading up to my dream job. My dream job is interior design. It was like a first step to that, and now I don't know what I'm even gonna do. Anyway, that's that. I've talked about it now, and I've had a bit of a cry about it. I do feel like, I don't know, a little bit better after that. And this is a big reason why I want to come out and do this, because not only did I want to do it anyway, because I always want to come out and do walks in the lakes or Scotland or wherever, but why I just needed to do it, I suppose. It's like therapy. This is like therapy for me, and that's why when my plans when I was on the train got cancelled last minute and I had 10 minutes to decide what to do, that's why it really got to me as well, from the stress that I still have from everything that happened. So being here is just the best way to unwind for me. And even though I did talk about it and it's still on my mind and I did cry, that's really helped. And I'm just grateful that I'm here and I'm not wallowing in it, and I'm not, staying indoors, and I just need to move on, I guess. But yeah, that's that. I'm nearly back. I can see some buildings. I think that's the youth hostel there, and I'm gonna head back in and I'm gonna have something nice to eat, sit by the fire, and maybe do some watercolours as well. As soon as I finished that last video, a woman walked past and I just completely broke down and I just cried to a stranger. She was so lovely, but I said, oh, sorry if you could hear me crying back there, this is why. I just couldn't, and I just burst out crying. She was so nice, but I just don't like burdening people. But at the same time, if you need to talk, then you need to talk. So, like, I'm burdening you guys with my issues. I do apologise, it's not what you're watching this for. I feel a bit better now, still a little bit fragile, but a little better, and I spoke to a really nice lady, so that helped. Popped open this cider as well while I was having my episode. I'll just put it here to show you. It's got a really nice design on it. Actually, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. It was lovely. Nice drink to ease my nerves. But I know that I'm just, after I pretty much broke down, I'm definitely getting another drink. I feel like I really need one. Speaking of, and this isn't what I thought of before I did this, I just remembered, I've got a link in my bio. I think it's one of those buy me a coffee, buy me a pint things, only if you want to. I'm not obviously gonna pressure anyone into ever giving me anything, but if you wanted to, the link's in the bio, and you can leave a public message and I'll give you a shout out in my next video if you leave a public message. Just occurred to me to put that in there. Got the lovely smell of the farms now. That wasn't being sarcastic, I love it. Oh, you know what, that's already making me happy. Oh my god. Sheep. The sheep have a little light. It smells good. I know some people might think like, what the hell, but like, yeah, it does. And I'm sure other people agree with me as well. If you do agree, then leave a comment, I guess. There's a little bit by the river that I visited the other night when it was dark. As you can see, because of the rain, it's much higher than it was. Let's come all up here. Nice little bridge. So the plan, I'm going to get the bus to Keswick, but because the bus isn't due from here for another 45 minutes, I thought I might as well walk to Seatoller, because I think it's 10 to every hour it gets there, and it's about 10:15 right now, so if I'm quick then I can make it fine. If not, I'll probably catch it on the way back from another stop. What a lovely moody day. I love it when the fells are all dark and gloomy like that, and you can really see the waterfalls cascading down. Love how it makes me feel being here. Sometimes, although I do try, it's hard to put into words, so I just find myself rambling like I am now. Through there, hidden in the trees, is the youth hostel. You can just see the twinkling lights. Part of me is tempted to walk up Honister Pass and into Buttermere and catch the bus from there, but don't want to risk missing anything, like, you know, if anything's happened to the buses over there, or for whatever reason the road's flooded so there are no buses running. I know that's happened in Buttermere before. And then I'm stranded for another day. Although I'd love to be stranded in a place like this. It's just knowing that it's going to be incredibly rainy tonight, and the Buttermere Youth Hostel only runs on an exclusive hire basis. Oh my god, someone's uprooted loads of moss. I'd take that if I had room in my bag. For my terrariums. Unless I'd be willing to fork out, I don't know how much, 100 quid for a guest house, then looks like I'll be camping again. And we're in for like another cold, rainy, windy, stormy night. So I'd rather get home today. If I set off a bit earlier, like if I set off at 7 or something instead of 10, then I would, because then I could give myself time to, at least if I had to, then walk back over Honester Pass, which sounds grueling, but if I had to. But I think I'm just going to play it safe. I'll do Honester Pass again another day. I think I've already mentioned, but Borrowdale Valley, the area which I'm walking through, is the official wettest valley in the UK. You can look that up as well. It feels great though. It feels like the weather like this is very much a part of this place. Last night was lovely. After, you know, feeling down a little bit, heading back to the youth hostel, having that bloody episode, I got in and they were just putting on, like, they were just starting the fire as I walked in. So I took my stuff up to my room, came back down with my watercolours and my notebook, and honestly I think it was about, I forgot what time it was when I got there, but I went up about 10 o'clock, so I think I was there a good 4-5 hours. I had a lovely brownie for dessert. It was so nice. I just needed something warm and chocolatey, but before that I made my noodles and I had some little cup of pasta for supper. I'm going to face this way because the rain is hitting my face and the wind. So yeah, and I spoke to this lady about my age. I forgot her name. I don't think I got her name actually. We were just talking, you know, about like, you know, oh, where you from, what you doing, you know, what, like, do you usually do this? And she was like, oh my god, do you go camping? Do you not get scared? And I'm like, well, yeah, I do. Sometimes, not all the time. Bear in mind I was at a campsite the other night, but I do usually wild camp, and when I'm scared it's just a part of it. You've just got to kind of make yourself go through it, and then you learn how to deal with scary situations by just going through it and teaching yourself. And she seemed really nice. She was from London. She had the accent and everything, and I think she said she was a costume designer, but she's out of work at the minute because the industry's not doing very well. But she's worked on Downton Abbey, she's worked on another period drama movie, a movie one about a queen, and she's working on the guy who plays the raccoon in Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, I forgot his name, but a movie with him. So she's done that, but she's out of work, so she's doing stuff like this. And I'm like, yeah, well, same, and you know, good for you. It's awesome to do stuff like this. And she said living in London and she doesn't have access to anything like this locally nearby at all. She's had to come a long way to get out and do this, and I'm just like, everyone should do this. Like I said, had an awesome night, really chill, really warm by the fire. And this morning, left at 10. As I was leaving, another lady who works at the youth hostel said she likes my hat, my little fox hat. So she took a picture of it and she said she crochets and she's going to try and replicate the pattern. That was really sweet. I do love this hat. I've got 10 minutes until the bus and I can just see the bus stop from here. I can see it, it's just in between those white buildings. I'm so tempted to get the bus that comes in the next hour instead of this one and just go through there a little bit, journey down there. bus. It goes to Seathwaite, and I don't know, I just fancy it because I'm going to be so early for my train. If I get into Windermere, I'd say earliest 12:30, latest 1:30. Then my train's not until 6 p.m. Sorry guys, I wouldn't mean to scare you. So, kind of in two minds here. Do I get this bus or... Oh, I know what I can do. I'm gonna get an Explorer pass. Right. Yeah, I'm gonna get this bus because an Explorer day pass or something, it's £12.50, and it means you can get any of the buses in the lakes as many times as you want in one day. So I can just kind of like hop off and hop on. I'll ask the driver about that to double check, but yeah, I'm sure I can do that. So I might get off at somewhere like Grasmere or Rydal, because they're two of my favourite places in the lakes, and then get back on when I fancy it and head to Windermere. Half an hour, just over 1 mile, and there's the bus stop. Hello! Oh my god, you are so cute, look at you! Can I give you a stroke? Hey? No? Okay. That's okay. Look at you. Do you not want to stroke on me? No, that's alright. Sorry to bother you. Look at its coat. Adorable, I love it. Yeah, so yesterday I came down that path. What past here? Oh my god, there's more! And went up there to go all the way up there. This time I'm just chilling here, and if you remember, I noted the lost dog, which is so sad. I hope Apollo was found. The dog's called Apollo. Oh, this is a nice bus stop. This is lovely. Got a little information things in the area, a map of the bus routes and of the lakes. Wow. So that's where I am. I'm getting the 78 bus. I'll just see whichever one gets here. If it's the 77 or 77A, I'll ask about that. But I don't think it's, but I know that the 78 is due in 4 minutes. There's the bus. Here it is. Very tempted to sit on this open top bit, but they're all so wet. I'll get a wet bum if I do. It looks so cool. Tell you what, if it rains, I'll move. But I like being in the open air. That was some amazing wine and nachos that I just had. So that's where I'll leave you guys. I'm about to get the train back now. Thank you so much for following me on this journey. And a few videos will pop up on the screen now. Feel free to watch them. And thank you again.